Hi, and welcome to the Les Paris Podcast today. Today's episode is number 259. Yesterday, in episode 258, that episode was about popcorn. Today, episode 259 is about cinemas. Cinemas. Don't you just love cinemas? I do. I sure love watching movies on the big screen. I love the new surround sound. There are a few things I hate, like all the advertisements at the beginning. But thank heavens, once those stopped, the movie continues right through to the end without any advertisements. That's wonderful. I can get lost in the movie. I forget about the world. I forget about my life. When I was a boy, I went to the cinema with my father. Not very often, but it was wonderful. I remember plotting and planning and looking at the movies and desiring to go see the movies for weeks and even months at a time. We knew about the movie long before it came out, and it was on TV advertised, and you could see it in the newspaper and read about it. And it was tantalizing. We always wanted to go to the cinema. It was a bit expensive, so we didn't go very often. I honestly can't remember how often I went, but it was only maybe a few times a year. But that was enough. That had me hooked. As I grew older, I went more often, and there came a point when I could go with my friends instead of with my father. And we watched the movies together and came out of a different world, back into the world of ordinary reality, but we were charged up by the movie. Coming back to the regular world only made it more exciting because we desired we had those qualities, or we could go on adventures like we saw in the movies. And the cinema was a magical place that carried us away into new worlds and new experiences. The world of imagination. I loved the popcorn at the cinemas. One thing I don't like, I've got to say, I'm probably just like every other human on earth. As we get older, we find the good old days were good and the new is not so good always. And I find the new cinemas are not so good. They're often messy and people drop their popcorn or they're crowded. I wish we could go back to those old cinemas when I was a boy and experience that total immersion in another world one more time. Thank you for listening through to the end of episode 259 of the Les Paris Podcast. Today's episode 259 was about cinemas. You can continue your journey of learning English through listening. Come back tomorrow to listen to episode 260, which is about shopping malls.